Good mid-afternoon. The reason I came back on and did this mid-afternoon update, one, my son is in his physical therapy right now. My mom, her surgery went good. They took out, I was like between 8 and 10 inches of her intestinal tract, and everything went good. Like, she had very bad diverticulitis and damaged areas that it's been a long time coming. So all that went good. She was awake, and surgeon said everything went as good as possible. She'll be there for a few days. It's like a couple month recovery, but it seems like she'll be doing all right. So, but I had to leave there, and I had to bring my son to a different hospital, the Corwell, for his therapy. So I want to do an update though. He just got brought back there for his PT today. Today's physical therapy. So I wanted to go over a few things on the charts, and for some who haven't seen what I've been talking about the rest of the day, or if you're new to my channel, I'm going to go over not just XRP in this update. I want to go over VTHOR, which is one that looks like it's backtesting the breakout of the short-term descending wedge. There's a couple other ones, like XRP is breaking out of that same descending wedge, and it's, for all intents and purposes, I suppose, we could talk about possibly back testing this today, which is probably what's going to happen. Most of the time, you don't just break out. I have my targeted breakout right here around the $2.30 area. So we'll see if this plays true or not. But that's where I think the bounce point would likely happen. Now, it doesn't always come back and back test the breakout, but typically you're going to want to get confirmation by back testing. So we'll go over this. We'll go over VTHOR, and then I want to go over the Zebec Network, because I bought more, or the Zebec, I bought more of it at 7.9 yesterday, 0079, when it dropped down. And then I also bought a little bit more of VTHOR yesterday on that drop down, because they were, the VTHOR, because it was building the descending wedge. But we'll see if it plays out properly. But let me do this intro, excuse me, and then we'll look over XRP, just finish off what I was talking about. We'll go to VTHOR, and then we'll end with Zebec. So if you could, please make sure to hit that like button so I can get pushed through the algorithm just a little bit on this update more than normal, just because I'm talking about VTHOR and Zebec, and there's a lot of people that I know in my own audience that like those particular tokens as well. So good mid-afternoon. 2:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, February 7th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and remain humble and show humility at all times. That's kind of what I like to push forward in this community, because then we can stay even keeled, and we can stay on the path of let's help no matter what each other, and we don't have to gloat even if we're doing good. And, we don't have to, stew if we're doing bad. We kind of find the even medium, and we try to push past this market together. So XRP, the only thing I really have to talk more about XRP is, if you're watching this, assuming this does pull down, we came up like you would want to in the shorter time frames of the 200-day. And now it's either going to be, we're going to ride off the 20-day. And if we do that, we shouldn't come lower than about $2.41, $2.40. But if not, if we do get this rejection at the 30-minute, then we could back test a breakout of the descending wedge. Puts us right around $2.29, and a breakout from that exact spot would give you a totality move of $3.37. But that's just in this little descending wedge. A lot of other factors at play, but we've still got some work to do here. So that's what it looks like to me in the short term. We have that descending wedge that is playing out right now bullishly. Looks like in the short term, I don't know if I'd call that an inverted hammer or not, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. This was definitely a reversal candle. This looks like a bearish doji to me, but we'll see. That does seem to me like we're going to come down to like $2.29. It makes sense. Like, you want to back test this breakout very quickly so we don't have to do it later. So about a 5.9% pullback. So could that mean the weekend's going to be a little bearish? Or is this going to happen prior to the weekend? I don't know. But it definitely looks like in the short term we should back test that area. If not, let's just say for whatever reason we don't back test, which I think VETHOR is already showing us we're back testing in the market. But we should come up to, the first layer is that $2.81. And then the target would be, if you can confirm this by breaking over and holding $2.81, you'd have a technical move up to $3.37. I'm just showing the short-term pattern. You can go this morning to see the longer-term ones, but we got to get through this short-term noise before we can continue on. And the only thing I will tell everybody is this XRP Bitcoin pattern. It's up 4.19% versus Bitcoin. That's irrelevant. It's the weekly time frame. We back tested the golden cross. So, and if you don't know what the golden cross is, using the exponential moving averages 20, 50, 100, 200, that would mean the 20 crossing the 200 is a golden cross. To be confirmed, I like to see the 50 come through the 200, which would be this orangish line, which has already come through the 100, which is that's bullish in itself. But now if it can come through the 200, it's confirming that short-term pattern flip. The back test is a great confirmation, but we still need to push up and out because this looks like a bull hammer that could finish here. And if that's the case, that's a bullish hammer candle. And we're seeing it pretty much universally across XRP's charts, whether you're looking at the XRP Bitcoin pairing, the market cap, or the actual price. So it's pretty interesting. Moving on, VETHOR, down about 0.38% on the day. VETHOR is going to be the one that I think is going to try to tell us what's going on here. Only because it had this small little descending wedge here. And it seems to be playing the back test back rather quickly. It did come outside of it a little more than XRP. Like, it fell outside of it, back down to the support structure, because that's a much longer pattern. But I think in time, this is what I'm thinking, is if it plays out bullish, it should do something like that. Now, obviously, if it breaks down, this could flip this upside down. It looks like a longer-term descending wedge that it was within, and now it's emulating it at the back end of this pattern, which oftentimes it'll play it out in smaller fashion. So we had a fake out below, broke above. Now we're back testing. So you could come for VETHOR as far down as about 435. Yeah, about 435. But that's what I think is about to happen here with VETHOR. Assuming it holds this big consolidation, and then in the smaller time frame, it holds that little descending wedge that was formed. But it does look like we're going to have some volatility here. And then if it does get on top of 738, it's a nice little bounce here for VETHOR. Like, in totality, it is a nice little bounce just immediately following. So you'd be looking to try to get back up to that 008 range. So from where we're bouncing around right now at 0043, I mean, you're talking about a 1x move from there. And that would just be the beginning. If this breaks out in totality, I mean, you're talking about a little flat pole that's been built here. But, you know, you're talking about a much higher destination here if this actually plays out. But we'll have to see if it has eyes for it. And even if you do it in the short term from right here, I mean, you're getting back over 1.2 and 1.3 cents. So different kind of ways to look at this, but I would keep it in the short term like I had it. And then that's what you can look at over the top. And then it can get even better. If you break out past there, I mean, it's a pretty quick run if it does it. And then last but not least, the Zebec Network. Up 0.67% at 000084339 right now. I believe I have 2.3 million tokens. I bought another 300,000 yesterday. Or not yesterday, this morning. No, it was yesterday because I don't think the clock flipped. No, it was still Thursday when that dropped down. It was getting closer to the end of the day. Anyhow, it's in what looks like a nice consolidation, but the problem is here is it looks like a bearish pennant possibly is formed here. And if that's the case, now I could also say, okay, well, maybe it's in like a wedge, but I don't know because it's got that uptrend coming. So it almost looks like right here, that it could possibly fall out farther down. Now, what I'm looking for is that bounce here, and then it come back up here. Even if it's bearish, I'm looking for that push to 001. But there's a lot of stuff that plays towards this particular one. It helps to bring traditional finance, like traditional money, into like the digital sphere. So there's many ways to even pay businesses and things like that. It's pretty interesting. when you get into this, and it's very early on, and if it does fall out, you would have a breakdown that could get you all the way down to the 4 zeros and then an 8. So you're talking about 80% correction. So that is still in the back of my head. And then obviously if it were to break out of this in the short term, you're looking at a rather substantial rise up, especially from where it's at. So, but we've got to watch this shorter term pattern. And the weekly, it's how it's developed right there. We've also got what you could say here, even on this drop, it needs to break back bullish. Otherwise, you could say that's a small bear flag there too. So I'm waiting to see if this can get some kind of volatility to the upside. I waited for it to come back down to the uptrend before I started buying it. But if it falls out, it's going to be a rather interesting drop here. And there's a lot of noise that could be made on the way back down. I mean, I think it would be a little bit harsh for it to drop this far off. That's a big drop off. So I still think if it's going to have that big of a drop off, it has to likely come up here first. But this short-term possible bear flag is why I keep saying if you're going to buy this, make sure you understand the risk with this one, because this isn't in our traditional sector. And if that's a bear flag, followed by a bigger bearish pennant, and we don't get this bounce up, that's going to be like a complete meltdown. So just pay attention to that. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I'm going to go back to where my son's at. Have a blessed afternoon. I don't know if we'll have a live tonight at 6 p.m. It all depends how it goes. It's been a rather weird day with my mom's surgery today and then my son having his stuff today. We'll see how it goes at home, but no promises. I've been trying to bring you the information. I think this is the third update today nonetheless. So hopefully this helped. Have a blessed day. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're looking at the crypto exchanges I use, just look in the video description below. I'm not going to waste your time with me going over that. But other than that, have a blessed day and thank you for your time.